Thank you. I'm Bryson. I'm a really grateful member of this program. I've been coming to this room. I figured it out this morning. I've been coming to this room for about 17 years, consistently, and so it was great what you said about there's no clicks, because it's just you just go anywhere for 17 years. You go to a coffee shop for 17 years, and they make you a part owner, I think. But and then the other pitch is doing service. If you're here and you're resentful that people seem friendly with each other, just take some horrible commitment and do it badly, because everyone will come up and tell you how to do it. It's awesome. I've been the late greeter. I've made shitty coffee. I've run the secretary position and done that wrong, and no one's thrown me out in 17 years. I've grown from every bit of it, and man, I learned a ton. I learned mostly that nothing is about me. It's about this room. I love this room so much. I've been literally around the world at Alanon meetings, and there's nothing like it. It's staggering, the recovery in this room, and the people. I love everybody here. They talk about, even if we don't know you, we love you in a very special way, and that's a really, really true thing in this room. So no, please, keep showing up, because there's a lot of meetings that aren't around. And so it's really special to be able to come and see people. I was laughing this morning, James, I was thinking about, I was like, man, there's not many people who were here then. And I can remember like a few people who were around in the beginning of it, in whatever, like 8 churches ago, where it was. Let's see what I should say. So I'm not speaking for Alanon. This is my experience, strength, and hopefully some hope in there. And so, take what you like, leave the rest. I don't know how to do this. I don't understand this. I'm a smart guy for a living. I fix things, and I fix people's problems, and I tell them how to do things better, and that never works here. It's pretty much that and that keeps it together. I don't know how to run this meeting. That's how this program stayed together for 60 whatever years, and at AA for many years before it, is that we all just sort of figure it out as we go, and we let it happen. And so, business meetings and being a service have taught me a lot about that, about how to, they've made me a better manager at my job. They taught me to be gentle. They taught me to listen to somebody else's idea. They've taught me to sit for a year or two with something going that I didn't like. It didn't affect me. I'm here. I'm happy today. And sometimes the lights are wrong, and you guys can't fucking introduce yourselves in the right order, and all that shit. I used to sit in the room. There's a guy named Pembroke in this program, and thank you. He used to say, we'd use the phrase murderous rage, and we'd use the phrase murder. And for me, in the early days, if you were chewing gum behind me, murderous fucking rage. If your foot was tapping the back of my chair, murderous rage. And I learned that was my brain trying to take me out of whatever was happening up here or out there. It was me focusing so hard, And I also should say that, like Brendan and I like to have a lot of fun in this room because we were fucking miserable. We both came in. I cried for the first year I was here. I had no idea. I, as an adult, had no idea. Came in here like 35 years old, had no idea how to live, did not know how to couldn't keep a relationship, friendships, my family. It was completely cut off from them. And not in the way you would think, like, I'm not talking to you. I just would be there, but not there. I remember I was the guy at the funeral that wouldn't talk to anybody and was just checked out thinking about other shit. I don't remember huge chunks of my life because it was just so painful to be in that life. My parents are not alcoholics as near as I can tell. I think my mother's been to Alanon. She identifies as an Alanon. My dad, I can't diagnose him. He's a great guy. And now I didn't think so when I came in, but I realize now that he's pretty awesome, and I'm turning into him, so I'd better like him. So figure that one out when you get a little older too. But yeah, man, this place taught me, everything I was scared of. In the beginning, I remember crying Monday night, Church of the Chimes, crying at the podium about having to go to the dentist. Straight up. You can laugh. That's pretty fucking funny for a grown man. But I just had never, nobody had ever like helped me go to the fucking dentist. I didn't know how to pay my bills. I didn't know how to do anything. And and I should mention, this yellow card helps keep me sane, man. I just want to tell you guys, like, I'm in 3 other programs. I'm not in AA. I'm not in the cool one. I'm in all the shitty ones. No one talks to Oprah about the shit I'm in. And tearful confession to get my show back or whatever the fuck you're doing. Can't. Anyway, but I respect Alanon, and I talk about Alanon from the podium here because this is a fucking Alanon meeting, and that's what I learned to do. I crapped on the podium. They talk about respecting the podium. When I came in, I was just so weird and crazy, and I don't know. I just had no boundaries. And so, thank you. And so for me, it's a big deal. And I always share in this meeting is that I'm a fucking hater, man. My wife knows. She gets to hear me. I'm a hater. I fight judgment and hate all day long, man. I can hate on anything. And this program taught me that, it's mostly shit that I did and I do that I hate in other people. That's just the way I was able to do inventory from that, But I also got a lot out of a bunch of little old ladies in the valley that I went to these meetings with. And had they been very specific about things, I would have just checked out because it doesn't relate to me. But our feelings were exactly the same. Our reactions were exactly the same. So for me, I have a problem of judging myself against you, against your outsides. And so sometimes if you share something that I can even intuit that puts you above me or in some cases actually below me. A lot of times I love in a meeting, people share things I think they think makes them sound cool, and it makes me just hate them. And so for me, these ideas that Lois and all of them came up with protect us. So, I don't need to know what you do. The closest people in the world to me, in some cases, I don't know their last names. It's pretty beautiful. It's amazing, man. Because I hated myself when I came in here. And I believe that nobody would love me. Nobody, if they knew me, would love me. And I would go to meetings in the valley on a Friday night, when all my friends were out doing cool shit. I would show up, and there were little old ladies and little old men who are probably my age now, and they would be thrilled to see me. They didn't know me. They didn't know what I did. Didn't know what I drove. Didn't know where I lived. Didn't know anything about me. They had no idea how cool I am, and that's a joke. And they hugged me, and they loved me, and they thought I was great, and they liked to hear what I said, and they listened to me and loved me. And I was able to go, oh, shit, I think every one of you knows better than me. That's my disease. You all are smarter and better than me. You're all better than me. And the fact that this room loves me tricked me going, well, wait a minute. If I think they all know more than me and they all love me, then I must be lovable. So that's one of the ways that this program tricked me. That allowed me then to think the idea that I could sit still for a minute and wince and take a compliment and then eventually look somebody in the eye and say, thank you for that compliment. And then maybe start to believe at a low level that I could be lovable, which allowed me to sit still and participate in relationships. It ended up with me getting married. And that's a miracle. And now stay married. So if you don't know why you're coming to this meeting, well, just keep coming. Unless you have some crazy reason that you have to leave that maybe more than 4 or 5 people will agree with, because don't trust your head, right? Just show up. And you don't have to dress up. You don't have to be clean. You can show up in your fucking pajamas. We don't care, but just show up. When I started, I would roll out of bed because I had no life, and I just roll out of bed and roll in here looking crazier than I do now, and nobody said shit. Everybody was like thrilled. It was huge recovery for me to be able to just show up somewhere and not be perfect, not be done for the thing, So what have I got now? How much time I got left?
25 seconds.
Sweet. All right. I always share this in a meeting because it's the smartest thing I've ever heard. My wife's line. My wife believes that alcoholism as a disease blocks our ability to give and receive love. That has been my experience. These rooms taught me to give unconditional love, which I did not understand. Had a lot of strings on my love. And then more importantly, to receive it. And I did it by having somebody come up and saying, hey, thank you for being, the speaker. Thank you for making the shitty coffee. Thank you for being the greeter, And so I just want you to know, like, if you feel miserable, turn to somebody sitting next to you and say hi at the break. Give them a hug. That's how this shit works. Thank you. It's weird when you come in at first, and especially if you don't, if you don't like yourself very much. And even if, by the way, I didn't know I didn't like myself. I thought I was fully functional when I came in here. I was like, oh no, I'm totally fine. But they sort of trick you because you do the steps, and what you figure out is you're like, oh wow. I look at it and it's like I didn't treat myself like I liked myself. So regardless of what I thought, it was all BS. And then for me, the way a sponsor works is that I can lie to myself, but I can't lie to you. I can't lie to a sponsor. So, my recommendation, I always joke, it's like, find a sponsor you don't care about, meaning somebody you can be really anonymous with, and they're not in your life, so you can just spill out whatever's happening. And the experience of being in the rooms allowed me to sort of come to not feel like a horrible person. And then I was able to be more honest about what was going on. A character defect doesn't mean you're a horrible, flawed person. It just means it's something you got to work on. And so it doesn't hurt you to actually entertain the idea that maybe I am that guy. Maybe I do that. Maybe I talk too much. Maybe I am domineering. Maybe whatever it is. For me, if there was ever anything that I did, no. If I go, yeah, that's not really me. That's one thing. If I go, no, that's not, no, you don't get it. I'm not a guy. If I start talking like that, I'm fucking full of shit. And lovingly, I will tell you that if you talk to me and you go, yeah, I'm really, I don't really, well, I'm like, look, just listen to your tone. That's how you know if you're full of shit. You may not even realize you're full of shit. That's the way it was for me. But just take a minute and consider it. Maybe you're like, maybe I am scared or weird or whatever about any of that. I couldn't write it all when I came in. My first step was written on a little reporter's notepad. It was that big. And then later, over time, and now I write a lot. I try to write almost every day. Even if it's not on a specific step, I do that. I'll share a few things I always share. People think, I don't want to open up and do inventory because I don't want to open that closet and all that stuff will file out. And it's I always say that, your fourth step inventory, it's not a closet, it's a backpack. And you've been wearing it and you're carrying it all. So just, take it off your back. Take the stuff out of your backpack. And that was a big deal for me. And then I could not be in a relationship. I could not be married. I could not stay married if I don't do constant inventory, because at my core, I don't think that I'm worthy of love. And I think that if you knew everything about me, you would hate me. And the fact that I was able to come in this room safely and, is that one? Okay. And share all my bad stuff. And I would share even my worst stuff with my sponsor. And they said, I love you, good work. And people still loved me. I was going, okay. Maybe I could just show up as I am, and instead of trying to be somebody else, find somebody that just likes this. So, and I did. And there's somebody for everybody who will like you just as you are. We already do. So, love you. All right. Open for sharing on the topic.